All right, today we're going to talk about quadrilaterals. Okay, quadrilaterals are a four-sided shape. So quadrilaterals have four sides, four angles, and four vertices. Four vertices. Remember, vertices are the point at which two lines come together and meet. So right here would be the vertex. But when we have more than one, we call it vertices. That's the plural form. So four sides. Quad means four. Lateral means line. So it really means four lines. Four lines are coming together to make a quadrilateral. Just like we had different types of triangles, there are different types of quadrilaterals. And there's two main groups of quadrilaterals. We have parallelograms and we have trapezoids. Okay, so quadrilaterals, there's two types, parallelograms and trapezoids. And we classify these by how many sets of parallel lines they have. Parallelograms have two pairs of parallel sides. Remember last week we talked about parallel lines. And trapezoids have one pair of parallel sides. So we're going to take a look at what these look like and how we can classify them. So let's take a look at a trapezoid. All right, so a trapezoid has exactly one pair of opposite sides that are parallel. Okay, so here's some examples of some trapezoids. They're not always going to look exactly the same, but they always are going to have one set of parallel sides. So if you look at this trapezoid here, this line and this line are parallel to each other. They're running in the same direction. They'll keep running in the same direction forever. This line here, let me do a different color. This one and this one, if they kept going on and on, they're going to cross each other, right? They're going to crisscross. So these are not parallel. So this is a trapezoid because it has one set of parallel sides, but the other sides are not parallel to each other. Same thing if we look at this trapezoid, this side and this side across from each other are running parallel. They're running in the same direction, but the other two sides are not. Eventually, if they kept going, they'd crisscross. So they would not be parallel. And then the same with this one. We have this side and this side are running parallel to each other. They're parallel sides. They're going the same direction, but these two are not. So each of these is a trapezoid. Only has one pair of opposite sides. They're opposite from each other, is parallel. A parallelogram is a little bit different. With a parallelogram, both pairs of opposite sides are parallel and congruent. We see that word congruent again, meaning that they are the same length. Both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. Okay, so we have a lot of things that are congruent when we're looking at our parallelogram. So let's take a look at one of these. So here I have this parallelogram. This side right here and this side right here are parallel to each other. They're running in the same direction. And they're also the same length. They're the same length. They're congruent. Looking at the other side, this side right here and this side over here are also parallel to each other. They're running in the same direction and they are also congruent. They're the same length of each other. So a parallelogram has both sides, opposite sides are parallel and the opposite sides are the same length. So they're parallel and congruent. Remember we said that congruent means equal. Okay, they're the equal length. So each of these, here I have this side is parallel to this side and they are the same length. And across from each other, I have this side is parallel to this side and they are the same length. Same as this parallelogram. This side and this side are running parallel to each other and they're the same length. And this side are parallel to each other and they are the same length as each other across. All right, so today we talked about parallelograms, which has two pairs. It says both, but two pairs of opposite sides that are parallel and congruent. Same thing, the opposite angles. This angle and this angle are congruent to each other. This angle and this angle are congruent to each other. Opposite angles are congruent or equal. And we talked about trapezoids. Trapezoids have one pair of opposite sides that are parallel. In our next video, we're going to learn about some different types of parallelograms. So we learned that parallelograms and trapezoids are different types of quadrilaterals. In our next video, we're going to learn about some special kinds of parallelograms.